Here be dragons, ladies and gentlemen. In Godzilla King of the Monsters, 17 titans were confirmed to exist in the MonsterVerse, and in doing so, it suggests that Ghidorah isn't the only dragon in that world, but possibly one of 6. I'm Greg Elliott with Screen Rant, and here's every dragon that could exist in Godzilla's MonsterVerse. King Ghidorah is the only dragon that's already appeared in the flesh in the MonsterVerse. He's technically an alien, and he and Godzilla are ancient rivals, with Godzilla being the reason that he got frozen in ice in the first place. Ghidorah is now dead, but the post-credits scene in King of the Monsters could possibly set up his return sometime down the road. Another confirmed dragony titan in the MonsterVerse is Amhuluk, a creature who has a monarch outpost built around him at the Manpupunir rock formations in Russia. A monster of the same name does exist in the mythology of the Kalapuya people of present-day Oregon, and he's often described as a 4-legged spotted sea serpent with giant horns who drowns his victims. And our next dragon is one from the Highlands of Scotland that most of you will probably recognize. In King of the Monsters, Titanus Leviathan is from Loch Ness, Scotland, which makes his identity pretty much a dead giveaway. Now, the story of the Loch Ness Monster only goes back to 1933, but the name Leviathan itself goes all the way back to the Old Testament of the Bible as a giant sea serpent mentioned in the Book of Job. And then we've got Typhoon, located at a monarch outpost in Angkor Wat, Cambodia. Typhoon was one of the deadliest creatures in Greek mythology who tried to take on Zeus but was defeated and buried under a volcano. Descriptions of him do vary though. He's sometimes depicted as a monster with a humanoid torso and head, some describe him as a winged fire-breathing creature, but most paint a picture of a serpent-like monster with 100 heads. Another titan referenced in King of the Monsters, this time in Stone Mountain, Georgia, is Tiamat, who Dungeons & Dragons fans may recognize as a multi-headed fire-breathing dragon, but she actually has her origins in Akkadian mythology. In ancient Babylon, Tiamat was known as the goddess of the ocean and is given shared credit for creating the earth. She's been described by some as a sea serpent or dragon, but some historians dispute this, so it's hard to say exactly how Tiamat was viewed by the ancient Babylonians or when she started being associated with dragons. And last up, we also briefly see Titanus Yamata no Orochi, who is an 8-headed and 8-tailed dragon/serpent from Japanese mythology with a body so large it's said to span 8 valleys and 8 hills, and is actually the inspiration for King Ghidorah himself. Toho created their own version of him just called Orochi, who first appeared on screen in the 1959 film The Three Treasures, also known as The Birth of Japan, but he's never fought Godzilla, so maybe a showdown is still in the cards sometime down the road. With so many multi-headed dragon-like titans, it might be hard to differentiate some of these guys from King Ghidorah on film. Amhuluk, Leviathan, and Tiamat would at least be easier to distinguish from one another, but there's no reason that Warner Brothers has to adhere to any given description of any one of these if they decided to show them on screen. We'll see if any of these titans make an appearance in Godzilla vs. Kong this November, and we'll definitely keep you posted as we learn more about the film. So keep coming back to Screen Rant to stay in the loop. I'm Greg Elliott, and I'll see you next time. Peace.